Okay, now once we have finished the base backup from the master to the replica, we need to see how we can recover this data from the replica to the master. Now remember, we will do all these things in practice. Once we finish talking here theoretically, we will do it all on terminal. But for now we will just talk. So for the restoration, the recovery of the data from the replica to the master, we need first of all to make some changes on a file by the name of recovery.conf file, which is available in both machines, on the server, on the master, and on the replica. So on the replica, for my system it resides in here, but you need to check where it's available in your replica server. We open this file and we need to start adding some commands to this file, to this recovery file. Now you can have a good details about these commands in three links, which is in here: the archive recovery settings, and the standby server settings, and finally the connection infos, which will gives you some good details in here. So these three links will give you a good insight about how we do the recovery of the data from the replica to the master. So let's see. First thing, we need to find out where is the data available on our replica server. Remember, we created this directory and we created this file at that time. At the beginning, I believe on slide number 2, we created this directory on the replica server to save all the data that is being streamed from the master to the replica. So first we need to do this, and this is the first command. The second command, actually there are three commands in this case: the restore command and the archive cleanup command, which is optional, and this one as well. So, but this is the most important one. The archive cleanup command is just what we'll do. It will delete all the previous wall files and keep only the latest wall file, so it can be used when you do the restoration. So this is the benefit of this archive cleanup command: delete all the previous wall files on the replica and preserve only the latest file. So, but we can do it also, we can add it. This is the command of it: the pg archive cleanup, the directory, and the folder, and %r. Here we have to %f for the where is the directory, and this is the destination directory. There are more other commands which also related to the recovery, which you can find in here at the standby server settings, which are the standby mode, the primary con info, and the primary slot name. So the standby mode, as it stands here, we can use it as a standby. The replica server, you can use it as a standby. You can read from it with a query select, with a select query. The primary con info is where is the master connection, where we will move the replica data to the host, to the master. Where is the details of it, of that master? First of all is the host name or the IP address, the host address. You can choose whichever one, either the host name or the host address. For instance, let's say the host address has this IP, so we add the host address, or otherwise we don't have the host address, we just have the host name. Now the port number of the master, which is 5432 obviously. The DB name is optional because in general the recovery won't depend on the database, but it's okay if you wish to put the name, the database name, but it's not that necessary to add it. Now the username, of course, which is the replica user, which the replication user, which we have used, created before on the replica server, and the master server password that you have to give. Now this pass file should be saved in a file called .pgpass. .pgpass. You will save this file, and usually it resides in the replica server. As the manual states, this file should reside in here at the replica server. And of course, if you want to connection timeout, which is optional also, you can add how many seconds if there is any disconnect. One thing to notice, if you have a space in the, if you don't have a space, let's say this number, or you don't have a space, for instance, between them, if you have a space, then you need to put codes into the name. If you don't have spaces, then leave it as it is. No need for this single quotes. The other command is the primary slot name. This name you will get from here, from when you create the wall archive file. You will create a slot on the master and you will give it a name. So this name, when we create the slot on the master server, we will use this name in here for the connection. So we will place this name, which is supposedly it's a master slot, or whichever name you wish to give, master slot, we will place it in here. This if you have a slot, if you have created a slot on the master. On the same thing, but on the master server, you go to the recovery file and you add these commands. The recovery target timeline, which is the latest, which and promote, you can find all these details also in here also and in here, but I will not go for them one by one because it will take a good time. So you can find all this in these references. You can go what each command can do. Now once you have done this on the master server in the recovery conf file, and once you have done these commands on the replica server in the recovery.conf file, when you have done these two things, then you need to start the replica and as well as with the master. And you can do the and later on, when we start the practical implementation of all this code on a terminal, on two machines, on the master and on the machine of the replica, we will see how we do this.